I'm in the old potager. I've just been clearing all the ground here under the old plum trees. There's a spiny type of plum. They're quite tall, quite useful for jam making. All the debris that was underneath there, it was like old cloches that they'd made up from bicycle wheels and bits of metal and old matting or what have you. So I've just been pulling all that out, and all the trees that I cut down from this area last year, I just heaped them up, so they just got overgrown with weeds like everything here. You have to move everything quite quickly. I've got one little bank of trees here to come out. They're all very, very spiny. This is the area we're going to have the swimming pool. The heap is the ground that Mark's dug out to put the footings in over there. Yet to happen. And I'm by the water tower. So it's a beautiful water tower with a pointy roof on it. It's got a pigeonry in this area, into a doorway there, and there's a water tank below it. So this pipe from the roof of the barn goes into, this is all water tank here, with a tap at the bottom, which we have going to the new potager. But the walls of this are covered in lovely little ferns, and when we stripped back this area, which was totally overgrown to the roof with brambles, we uncovered this lovely tower with all its little ferns. There's 3 different types of fern on it, and I wondered in uncovering it whether we'd actually lose them all, but they seem to have survived even that very hot summer last year where we were sort of hitting 50 degrees out here. I'd put some in a tray underneath the bramble here, and that's all survived, so I'm going to go and plant those elsewhere. So there's my 3 trays of ferns, and I've just put some stone round our little banana tree. Looks very sad, but he's survived the winter, which has surprised me. Once he can get his roots down a fair way, I'll snip this dry end off so he can unfurl his leaves. That was a pretty bad winter, so once his roots are deeper, he'll survive nicely. There's lots in this area, so there shouldn't be a problem. The last area in here to tidy up is take the last of that dead bramble down from there. It's all intermingled with the vine, and the vine's just about to go into leaf. So of the original vines, there's one under this lot of bramble. There's one here which has put out a lovely side shoot, and we have buds on it, so that's ready to come into leaf. So just breaking through, so that will cover this wall. There's another one here, new pieces coming out, and there's another one over there, and they've all survived, which is marvellous, and had quite a lot of grapes on them last year. This is the last of the little trees to be taken out. I'm using them as bean staves, so just give us something to prop the beans up on. There's a bit of metal work there, and this type of wire, there's quite a lot of this, and these bits are made into sort of drum shaped. I'm going to use them now. This is all the plastic sacking I've brought out, and all the heaps of wire. So as I say, these 2 pieces seem to be made into a drum shape. They're connected to themselves, so I'm going to use them to protect a couple of little trees up by the pond. Up at the pond, the little duck house that Mark made doesn't seem to have any residents yet. The water level's very high. We have seen the ducks up here. We see them fly in and out as a pair, but no residents yet. There's a lot of frogs up here already. While I'm at the pond, I'm just building up a little bit more of the wall here. There's an area here that animals could walk down to drink, and we think that little wooden structure was for doing the washing. I've just been digging a lot of this stone out of the weed, putting it back on the pile, and I've come up with some old floor tiles, so that would be from the previous chateau, and yet another horseshoe. That looks like it's been mangled by ploughing in the field. I'm not sure where this stone came from because this isn't sort of one that we come across in this area at all. And the other thing I found was this is actual cobblestone, so this has been cut to make a cobblestone yard. So, and that's a different shape to the one we've got by the house now, which is sort of Victorian age, sort of 1800s. This is prior to that, so it's been made a different way, chiseled into a flat square. But this whole mound we think is rubble from the previous chateau, and we've been digging out quite a lot of it to use around the place. So that's my second little willow tree, which I've grown from a little bit of branch about 50 centimetres long that I took off of a friend's tree and put it in some water and rooted it in that and transferred it to pots. So I had 4, ended up with 3. This is the second one to go in. I'm by our big main barn, and I've just had a trim along the side. Up that end there's a nice drainage area there, all with brick, but down here it doesn't seem to be the same, it's just loose stone. I found a metal drum that I've got marked to cut in half lengthways. I'm going to put some stone in there, so I'm breathless. Digging. There's the games barn. This is our big main barn here, and alongside it I've just trimmed this edge, and that end there's a proper drainage area, all with stone set into a channel ending with a grate. This end doesn't seem to be the same, it's all just loose stone. I'm going to put on here a couple of troughs. I got marked to cut a drum in half for me lengthways. I'm going to put some soil and stone in there, and this is a nice shaded wall here, so we have got ferns growing out of the wall, little crevices, lots of little ferns along here. So I thought if this is an area they survive in quite well, that's where I'll put the ones I've salvaged from the potager. That's my finished planters. I'm quite happy with that. That gives them somewhere nice and shady and damp. If there's any others around, I'll put them alongside and just make a display of ferns.
So I'm just in the front hall and I'm looking at boxing in these pipes to hide them. This bottom bit's going to be the most awkward, so I've started off by cutting some cardboard to a shape and then bowing the front, and I've got a bit of wood in the corner just to give it a bit of support. And then that'll fit there. Just need to do a little bit of extra trimming, and that'll fit the hole, I think. So that's the box work all fitted in. It's gone in quite well. All I need to do now is just complete the rest, which is a straight run up to the ceiling.